You are listening to the sounds of the Right On Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this side of it. Welcome to On the Record Jams, brought to you by the Right On Network. I'm AJ.
And I'm Arthur.
And I just want to thank our Patreon subscribers because they're helping us go and grow in the year 2026 and beyond. We appreciate your support. Alan Wright, he's Bold Outlaw. Check him out on boldoutlaw.com. Merc Bandwidth, he's the sound of the Right On Network. Check out his music on the music platforms. Merc Bandwidth. Cluck Trent. Mark Blair. Over in Australia, we have Paul Hicks. Laurel Phillips at the Fire and Water Podcast Network. The Irredeemable Shag. Justin Steiner on Substack. Shoefly Pie. Justin Steiner, check him out. Rick from Jeff and Rick Present Unpacking the Power of Power Pack. Chris Pine 1. Bill Beer of the Back Pod. April 5K listener on the Manhattan Project talking about Friends and Seinfeld. The great Jordan Holt and Clinton Robinson of Fan Film Fridays and Coffee and Comics. Thank you guys for going to patreon.com/Right On Network. I'll put that link in the show notes. So Arthur, we're back. This is episode 32. What are we putting on the record this time?
We're going to get to the dance floor, and it's going to go to 1986, and we're going to do Cameo's Candy. What do you know about that one?
Okay, so I texted my dad. I was like, hey, did we have Thriller? And he's like, no, we didn't have Thriller. So the reason why I don't know about certain things, like I was like, I don't know anything about Bob Dylan, or I really wasn't familiar with the Beatles until I graduated from high school. This Cameo Candy, yeah, I heard this all the time. At aunt and uncle's houses, at my house. Yeah, this, I could go probably 15 years without hearing it and still be able to recite it or know where the beats are coming from, when the next turn is going to happen. This is just in my musical history DNA itself. Cameo, just like candy.
Yep, it makes sense. Like, it was everywhere. I don't know whether Ubiquitous follows the thing, but it was their second number one hit in a row, I believe. So it's from the Word Up album. This is 86. This is their 13th album. You know, I always like to point that out. Like, when you think about these groups and they have these hits, especially as we were kids, like sometimes these groups would, in our mind, pop up out of nowhere. But yeah, as you get older, you realize, like, no, Cameo was a thing a long time ago. And they would just have little songs here and there. And then they, like, once videos became a thing, and then they started making those really notable, memorable videos because of their look and them just being kind of wild. But they check a lot of our boxes, right? So this is a song about liking a girl. So we got that. This is a song where there's more than one vocalist. All right. Okay, we're getting there. And so, and yeah, it's got the childhood thing, and it's got a lot of rule breaking on the song structure. So it's crazy like a fox though. So it breaks some rules, but it doesn't break them all, right? So there are some things that they did to really make this be what it needed to be, to where it's a staple song that so many people just know and like love, and you can pull it back out. And for some reason, it keeps getting pulled back out. Like, number one, because it's jamming. Number two, it's made it to that thing. Like, it's had so many different tags, like funk, it's dance floor, it's hits, it's nostalgia, it's barbecues, it's unk music, it's whatever you want to call it. Like, there's so many different things where it never goes away for long. And even in my case, the way I listen to music, sometimes I'll find myself in these little nostalgic loops. And when I do it, this is going to make it in there some kind of way, somehow. And so even if you take it to late high school mid 90s, late 90s, you start being a part of the trying to go out, trying to be cool. Like, I remember this song getting played even then. So it's like a 10-year-old song and it's getting played. I remember going to weddings in the early 2000s as some of my friends started getting married, and you would get to the wedding reception. And what do you know? Here it comes again. Cameo, Candy. And the great thing about it at that point, it got attached to the Harlem Shuffle. So what do you know about the Harlem Shuffle, AJ? Let's talk about that. What about the Harlem Shuffle?
The only thing I know about the Harlem Shuffle was in the early 2000s. It was like this shoulder jerky dance move.
Oh, so Harlem Shake. Shake.
Harlem Shake. Now, Harlem Shuffle, talk about it.
So that's, at least from my sphere of existence, that was like the line dance before there became multiple line dances. Mm-hmm. And once I realized, oh, okay, y'all are putting me through it now. Now I got to remember multiple shuffles and multiple thises and that's. And, at that point I was starting to, hit a certain age where I wasn't going out all the time anyway. So it's like, okay, look, guys, I'm going to learn about 3 or 4 shuffles. Then after that, I'm through. I can't be knowing every shuffle. I don't got this type of time. But the Harlem Shuffle is like from the 50s and 60s. And then eventually there was kind of depending on where you were at regionally in the country, there would be kind of a accepted shuffle. And if you remember the movie Best Man, like that was late 90s. Mm-hmm. And when everything had resolved itself and they got to the end of that movie, and those fools did the Harlem Shuffle with Candy on as the credits were rolling. And it was, and like everybody and their mom was like literally, and their mom, like things had worked themselves out. Multiple generations on the dance floor doing the Harlem Shuffle with Candy as the backdrop. So like that song fills that box as well too, outside of just being a jamming song. So yeah, I attached this song to the Harlem Shuffle for that reason, but also as a part of my early nightlife life when we would do the Harlem Shuffle. Like one of the songs that got mixed in was always Candy.
It's hard for me not just to chant the song. This came out in 1986.
Yes, 86. Woo. So, man, you think about, what was out in 86, man? So this is well after Thriller, right? So this is Prince is Kiss. This is Janet Jackson's Control era. So that's like Nasty and What Have You Done For Me Lately? Man, I'm trying to think what else.
For me lately.
Do, 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 do. This is Madonna, Papa Don't Preach.
Wow, okay, I would have thought Papa Don't Preach was earlier. Okay, keep going.
Run DMC, Walk This Way.
What? Okay, I'm totally mixing stuff up, but yeah, I would have thought. Okay, yes, Walk This Way with Aerosmith.
So Sade, Sweet as Taboo. Dude, Atlantic Star, Secret Lovers. Steve Winwood, Higher Love, Back in the High Life Again. Like these types of things.
Is what we are.
This might be a little squirrely, but Ready for the World, Oh Sheila. Oh Sheila. Yes. The song had been out for a while, but we've already done this one, but Computer Love. So this is in the same era as that, right?
Yes.
So like that's kind of sits us where we're at. Manic Monday, Bengals, right?
Because a lot of this stuff is Computer Love. Like all these songs you're talking about, like if we just put this all together, it's because it sounds like technology marrying funk music, but yeah.
Yeah, so Candy, man, you think about, we were talking about this before we hit record, but it's like, man, this is one of these rule-breaking songs that doesn't exactly break all the rules because, again, they have an intro piece and it's meant for the dance floor. So they make sure they let it breathe before they started hooting and hollering. before they jumped into the song. They're like, this is the put your drink down, get yourself to a dance floor, because it's time. Like, you've been standing around too long. Oh, you thought you was going to get a break? You don't get a break because we're playing Candy now. So you got about 15 seconds to get yourself there. And because it's a funk record and because it's a jam, like, I always think about stuff like this where when a song starts either with the chorus or it starts with something where it's like, we're not even going to say words. It's just going to be an ad lib right out of the gate. Like, this one starts with an ad lib right out of the gate. And the guy's like, yeah, mm-hmm. And he's just like right out of the gate. You're like, okay, we're in now. Like, so we're jump starting this thing. And then you jump right into like a chorus. Like, this song is almost like hip hop in a way, where it's like if you could imagine they made a 15-minute song and then they cut it into 6 minutes of the best stuff they had. And it's just like hooks. It's not even really full verses, but it's like they know what the point. They're trying to get this point across. Like, I have a crush on somebody. I like somebody. You've heard all these songs. We've talked about a bunch of songs on the record jams related to it, but it's almost like Cameo's as a funk band is trying to explain, this is what it's like when you have a crush on somebody. So it's like candy. Like, you know how much you like candy? Like, that's how much I like this lady. I like her like I like candy. Now, of course, you got your people that'll say that this is also a drug reference. A lot of these guys have denied it and said, no, that is not what this song is about. I don't know. I know as a kid, I wasn't asking any questions. I just heard that guitar and I heard hollering and I heard it's like candy. And I was like, okay, yep. Give me 5 minutes of my life is about to be gone. Come and listen to this thing again. I'm going to watch this video again. And these dudes are dancing and the video is zany and it's like weird backgrounds and people jumping around dancing. And I'm like, you know what? Yep, you got me again. It's like candy.
Pizza.
Like, yeah, it's like candy, cool. But it's like he jumps, like, you think about the jump start of this, and it's kind of hard to look at it in terms of a verse, because again, they start with the chorus basically, or like the hook is like, it's like candy, and they just keep coming back to it over and over. But I can feel it when you walk, even when you talk, it takes over me. You're so dandy. I want to know, can you feel it too, just like I do? Like, please like me, because I like you. And how many songs have we done that falls into this range, right? Like, it's almost like cheating, right? You can rap so many different things around music. You can do it a lot of different ways. You can vocalize it a lot of different ways. But man, if this is the subject of your song, you have a really good, it's like throwing a softball right over the plate. And it's like, you just have an opportunity to knock this thing out of the park. And this is yet another case where a outfit chose this topic and managed to knock it out of the park and make a dance song and make something that hip hop people jumped all over and sampled a ridiculous number of times. And again, it's in movies. It's a part of the Harlem Shuffle. Like, this song finds a way to be everywhere. Like, it's in the walls, it's in the walls of life. So yeah, man. I mean, like, if you look at online, they call this the chorus, but it's kind of not, right? This stuff is starting now. It's the same feeling I always seem to get around you. There's no mistaking I'm clearly taken by the simple mere thought of you. Yeah, we've heard all this before. We've heard it all before, but it works because of the way it's presented. It works because it's a jam. They don't let you off the hook with the music of it. There's no tricks as far as time and signatures. Like, they're giving it to you straight, but they're not giving it to you straight as far as song structure goes. And so again, this stuff is starting now, repeated. Like, they really trying to escalate this thing, and you're only like a minute into the song, and it's just like, we're going in. And they got to keep describing the level of the crush, right? So my eyes roll in my head. I toss and turn in my bed in the morning when I think about you. And then, of course, when you a funk singer, you talk to your own lyrics in the middle of the song. So he's like, "Yes, I do."
Yes, this song, you got to stop this podcast and re-listen to the song again. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. So you got time in the middle of the song because again, you're already like when you have a funk band and they're forced to play it straight, they're gonna find places to rebel, right? So that's how it happens, right? You're gonna rebel in the form of I'm talking to myself during the song. So simply put, you're the reason why, even though I'm real shy, again, real shy, I attempt to look my best for you again. Endured I do just for you. Multiple singers, by the way, just beautiful.
Yes, I love that.
Because you affect me, fascinate me. I thank heaven for the things that you do. I mean, by the time they let you, this is probably the most they let you breathe from the time the song starts to now. And they're just kind of like taking a break because they've done too much, right? So now it's just literally just a hook. It's like Candy and a bunch of ad libs, and of course, because it's Candy, you're gonna say somebody's sweet because it's funk, right? I mean, let's pause for a second on this. Thinking about Cameo, I told you this before we started, and it makes so much sense when you hear this song and a lot of Cameo's music. Cameo's original group name, or one of their original group names, was the New York City Players.
Mm.
Why does that mean anything? Well, that means add Cameo to the group of people that were inspired by the Ohio Players. And if you know anything about the Ohio Players, straight up rebel funk, jams, a lot of crush records. I got a crush on you, I like you, relationship records, but with a lot of funk wrapped around it. And so it's like this, I almost view Candy now as an adult. I almost view that like this is homage to Ohio Players. Like this is like you can hear it now. Like it makes more sense. As a kid, obviously you weren't asking any questions. You didn't see how it was connected. But like when you hear Larry sing from Cameo, it reminds me so much now of Sugarfoot from Ohio Players, and it makes sense because those guys came in. They were the rage in the funk circles, in the big bands, and Cameo for sure. Yeah, we see him, and everybody knows the one guy, right? Is Larry, but they had multiple vocalists, and the group started off. I think it was like 14 members of the band, right? So this was another one of these big funk bands, like Kool and the Gang, Commodores, LTD, Ohio Players, to a lesser degree, in a way different way, the P-Funk guys, but like this is the aftermath of this. This is more like that next generation of guys. So you think about Roger, who we've covered, and then you get over into Larry and the crew with Cameo. So, but it's funny to think they were the New York City Players, and legal stuff got involved even back then. So this is like mid 70s. And I guess the word got out that that's what their name was going to be. And the Ohio Players record label reached out and said, that is not what your name is going to be. You are going to change your name to something else unless you want to be sued dramatically. And so they said, Cameo it is. And allegedly it was after the cigarettes. So very weird how they ended up with that name. But again, as a kid, even as an adult, I don't think I've ever sat back and asked myself, why do they call themselves Cameo?
I never thought about it.
Why would I care? These are just these dudes that made a bunch of jamming music when I was a kid, and yeah. And hip hop is all over it because it's like, oh, okay, they knew that stuff was jamming. The producers knew it was jamming. These songs are hits. But again, even with all the funk, there's a lot of space in these records where there's no vocals, which we know as fans of hip hop. If you do a bunch of good music with no vocals, your stuff is going to get sampled. So it would make sense that Cameo their catalog has been touched quite a bit. And they had a lot of hits when they did hit. So with Cameo being one of those.
A lot of Southern rap.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know how it really, considering these were New York guys, I don't think I knew that till I looked into these guys either, right? Like to me, it was just Cameo. I mean, and that's another cool thing about it. Us as kids, I don't remember breaking everything up into regions, right? Like even if you were called Ohio players, it didn't cross my
Yeah,
mind. Like, oh,
yeah, no.
I don't listen to that Ohio stuff. Like
Mm.
I was just like, man, if it's jamming, I'm gonna listen to it. I don't care where you're from. Like, give it to me, right? Like, give me the jams.
What's interesting? What's interesting? Okay, so we have songwriters Larry Blackman and Thomas Jenkins. This is produced by Larry Blackman. I think a record like this is going to guarantee you future work as a producer because I can see like record labels going like, okay, these people know what they're doing. When they're done with their career or whenever they have space in between making records or touring, man, if they can produce some of our girl groups or whatever, did that end up happening? Did Larry Blackman end up being a producer on other acts?
I don't know because I mean, Cameo kept going for quite a while. I know he did some work with Shaka Khan, and he did
Okay.
some stuff with Eddie Murphy when Eddie Murphy made his music. Right? He
Oh
had
yeah,
the
that's
pick of the
right.
litter. I mean, yeah, he got Rick James, which is funny, another person that I would view as kind of a forefather to some of this stuff that Cameo is doing, bringing the
And
funk to you.
don't forget, put your mouth on me. Put your
No,
mouth on me.
and you giving us too much off your playlist now. You telling on yourself now.
Hey, I'm gonna sit here while you listen to the band. I know that song. Put your mouth on me.
Yes, yes, yes. We do know that song. But yeah, man, it's these guys, they really got it. And of course, because they're a funk band, in the middle of this song, they gave us a brass section. They gave us horns out of
Mm-hmm.
nowhere because that's how they come in funk music. Like you already got this groove going. I'm not
Yeah,
messing up the groove. I'm not
this
stopping the music. We're doing it. I'm not stopping. I'm letting the drummer keep getting his, but I don't care. We're doing guitar solos. We're doing horn solos. Nobody's getting a break here. Like we're just doing it.
so this was already a perfect record without the horn solo. Once the horn solo comes in, it's like, oh, this takes it to another level.
They were giving everybody some on this record. It was like everybody knew they were in on a jam and they wanted to get the biggest piece of it as possible. Like Larry singing to himself, talking to himself, the other guys that are singing. There's multiple people singing on this song. Like when you listen
Yes.
to it, you're like, wait a minute, this isn't all one guy singing. And it's like, how did they decide who was going to sing what part? And the answer is yes. Yeah, we're all going to sing every part we feel like singing, and then we're just gonna put it all together. Like when they do live performances, it almost feels like everybody wants to sing. Like it's almost like the running joke of like when rappers would have too many people on the stage, where it's like everybody's got a
Mm-hmm.
mic. Like, but
Yep.
for this in Cameo, like it felt like everybody had a mic. Everybody was trying to get a piece of it in the studio because it's like, oh man, we know we've made a couple of hits, but like this is gonna be a hit. Did they know this thing is gonna last forever and be 40 years later, like people
It's
still
future
talking about it? Who
music.
knows? But it's
I don't
there.
know. I think like stuff like this, I think, we'll talk about Janet Jackson. I think this music, especially from the 80s perspective, I think it's designed to be, hey, this is future music. And yeah, and it's because it sounds like technology or whatever, but I say that like, it sounds like it's made out of factory. It sounds like technology. You can go online, guys, and listen to Cameo perform this record, Candy, on the Arsenio Hall show. On that, so they pull it off live.
Oh yeah. And just think that was years later. That was 5 or 6 years later. Because
Mm-hmm.
Arsenio was not like that at that period of time.
No,
And it's like,
no, it wasn't around
okay.
1986.
So yeah, this was like 91, 92, and it's like, hey, we need to get Cameo on this show. and they're going to sing Candy, or we're not letting them on the show.
So I guess that's the connection where it's like, all right, so Blackman, you produce some Eddie Murphy. Arsenio Hall is my buddy. Go on to Arsenio Hall show. Or whatever order that went in.
Who knows?
They're partying in the same circles.
And then take in mind, they're a band, right? And so 60s, 70s, 80s, bands want to get out and they want to play because they feel like that's how you get better. That's how you find the inspiration for your next stuff. And even the bands from the last 20, 30 years, and we are fortunate enough to still have bands, right? And what they want to do is they want to play. They want to get out in front of people. They want to mess around. They want to experiment, and they want to find their next album sound, even if it's only like a tweak on what they were already doing. So yeah, it makes perfect sense that they want to get out in front of people. And that's the funny thing about 80s bands, right? Because they're still bands. They're using the technology. They're trying to not get passed up in the future. And then especially these funk bands, they don't want to be instrumental groups because people say, oh, well, y'all some jazz dudes. We don't want y'all. We don't care about no jazz. And it's like, no, I'm not jazz. I'm not jazz. I'm funk, please. And I'll make pop music every now and then too, please. I could do other stuff. And so that's how you end up with these groups like this as they try to, I almost call it like they reform themselves and say, okay, I'm a frustrated jazz group. I'm kind of a less weird P-funk, but I'm still trying to keep the funk alive. I'm going to do my thing. I'm inspired by Ohio players. Like, how do I get my stuff together and make a song? But again, they can't help themselves. They're funky. So again, you got multiple vocalists. You got people talking to each other during the song, singing, saying the same words. And just think, like, we're already at the point where it's like they've done the horn sample. It's like Candy. They really like this girl. You affect me. You fascinate me. I thank heaven for the things that you do. Like, I think we get it, right? Like, we're 2.5 minutes into it. Like, okay, you like the girl, cool, and she's like Candy, and you like Candy. Well, when they come out of that, they don't have much else to say, right? But they got to keep doing it. They got to keep singing, man. So it's like Candy, and in the background, the guy's like vanilla. Chocolate, and it's just like they just keep on talking, and it's like, and again, as a kid, I'm just like, okay, yeah, vanilla, yeah, you're making sure I understand it's candy, all right, I get it. Giving me a heart attack is the kind I like. Another instrumental break, whatever.
You're so dandy.
You're so dandy in the background.
Hey, you look real nice, wrapped up tight.
So. Yes. So when you come out of this and these dudes are still singing, and that's the great thing about vamp outs and funk music, where there's no way in the world the stuff I'm about to tell you got written down. They're just in there jamming and somebody's still talking, right? So you're like a brand new feeling in a special way. A surprise package on a bright, clear, sunny day. Man, that sounds like drugs. They're still talking about the girl. They're talking about the girl. You're so dandy and wrapped up tight. And then the other guy's like, so good, so good. Yeah. But then this is the part. Strawberry, raspberry, all those good things, violets and gumdrops. That's what you're saying to me, baby.
That's one of the ones where, like, even if I haven't heard this song in a long time, that comes up. Strawberry, raspberry.
Strawberry, raspberry, all those good things. And he said it to himself both times. He was like, strawberry, then in the backtrack, you hear strawberry. Raspberry, raspberry, all of those good things. So, a story. So my wife, her first language is not English, right? She's from the Valley. Right. And so when she learns English, she learns it through 80s pop music because she's our age. And so it's very interesting to live with her and be with her and have music come on in different situations. I'm playing a playlist in the car, we're watching TV, a song gets licensed for a show, and it's always interesting to figure out what songs she knows and what songs she doesn't know. Well, she has a friend, and her name is Candy. And we were on vacation, and Candy just happens to be one of the people that's going to be there. And so we get there, we're hanging out, sitting around, and then here comes Candy around the corner. Like they got there later or whatever, and we finally meet up with them later in that day. Well, Candy comes around the corner. My wife yells out, "You're like Candy." I look at her like, wait, I didn't know you knew that song at all. Well, the only part, she doesn't know the words. She just knows the cadence of it. And so I'm listening to her, and like Candy comes around the corner and everybody's glad to see her and they're hugging and stuff. Well, I look at my wife like, I didn't know you knew that song. And she's like, yeah, I know it. And I'm like, well, let's hear it. And then she doesn't know the words. And then the only word she knows is strawberry and raspberry. And she just knows to say it with a funky twang in her voice. And so she's just like, strawberry, raspberry. And I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. Like that's a sign that they're crazy like a fox. Whatever they did, it worked. Because this was, 2 or 3 years ago. So this was, again, 30 something years after the song comes out. And somebody that didn't even know the song full strength to the level that, like, let's say me and you would, because we heard it a million times growing up. Even her, she's like, okay, that was a hit. I know the song. I have a friend named Candy. I sing the song to her as a reverence to her. And I don't know the song, but I know how it goes because it's that catchy. And I know strawberry, raspberry.
Raspberry.
So
Hilarious.
What a song.
Everything in its right place. And everything in its right place as far as production, syncopation, just all of it. This is a good record. This is a good recording.
Yeah, it's like they knew they had something and then they vowed to not ruin it. And they never did. But they didn't know how to get out of there, though. Because, we talk about this with funk bands and a lot of groups, right? But really bands. When bands start playing something and it works, and especially when you have a group like Cameo that is experimental. Like you jump into some of their albums and some of that stuff, you hear it now and you're like, okay, I don't know what these dudes were doing. But like you talk about all the time, you got to let those groups do those things because that's how you get your candies. That's how you get your word ups. That's how you get your sparkles and she's strangers and like all the jamming songs that these guys have. And again, this is their 13th album. Word Up is the 13th album before they start hitting these number one. Like they had hits before, but like these are the number one world taking over video everywhere. My wife knows it without being a part of the culture. Like those level of hits, like 13th album is what it took for them to get to that point. But yeah, it's like even when it's those situations, they didn't know how to end the song. They knew they didn't want to write a bunch of stuff because I refuse to believe somebody sat in a room and wrote strawberry, raspberry, all those good things.
Oh, this is well done. Like it's as simple as it is. This is some good, clever lyrics going on. A surprise package on a bright, clear, sunny day. You're so dandy and wrapped up tight. No, this is good stuff.
It's great, but
and staying on theme. Like this isn't just random consciousness. This is pretty precise. And like the way like this music is, it's even if it's like background vocals and all this stuff, it's in its right place. It's not random.
No, but they're doing it. Like it's a jam band like at the top of their powers jamming. And so now you got the vocalists jamming with each other too. So now you got the singing to each other happening, the backing each other up. You say something I like, I'm gonna just say it in the background again. Like all that little cool stuff But again, it's such a heavy record in terms of all the things they packed into it. But the topic is so straightforward. The
Yeah.
delivery, the timing of it, again, it's such a aggressive record because there's a lot of instrumentation happening on it. And again, it's 5 minutes long, so it ain't like they weren't they weren't trying to cut. Yeah, they were giving it the whole thing to us. So like, and I can't imagine what, like, even by that era, there might have still been a such thing as a 12-inch version. So I can't imagine how long that version is. But every version I've ever heard, I think I've heard like a 4-minute version and then a 5.5 or 6-minute version. And the one on the album is like 5 minutes, 40 seconds. So like that's a lot of stuff to explain how you like somebody and you liken her to Candy because you also like Candy.
Yep. No, I had a lot of fun with this one. I had a lot of fun revisiting this and kind of really thinking about what was going on here.
Yeah, Crazy Like a Fox, man. You see the weird video and you think, okay, what are these fools doing? But again, 13th album, multiple vocalists. There's a guitar solo. There's a horn solo. It's a band being a band.
They know what they're doing.
Yes. So really good times on this one for sure.
Let us know what you thought about this. Cameo, Candy, funk music going into the 80s. Where can they reach us, Arthur?
On the record jams at gmail.com. We're on Blue Sky. We're on the X. We have a YouTube page, anywhere where our videos are posted. So YouTube, Amazon Music, all those different outlets, Apple Podcast, all those different places where there's comment fields. You could reach us there. You could have a dialogue going there and tell us what you think of Cameo hitting it big on their 13th studio album with Word Up and Candy.
Woo. Just like Candy, guys. Wow.
I can feel it when you walk.
So until next time, keep your lamplight trimmed and burning.
And keep on jamming.